Hello everyone and welcome to the debut episode of Not Quite Ringside Podcast. We are your hosts, the Captain Corey Smelzer and Will Twinkie Welch. So, we are just on the aftermath of Wrestlemania. This is straight like a few minutes after Wrestlemania has ended, and if we sound like we are going to get into a somber mood because how Wrestlemania ended, you have to forgive us. We've been wrestling fans for 20 plus years now.
Yeah, we're not just doing WrestleMania though this weekend. This weekend was all about wrestling. Started Saturday night with Ring of Honor. I can't say enough about Ring of Honor. I love Ring of Honor. So let's just jump into the card here and kind of go over our thoughts on what happened. The first one, the opening match for Supercard of Honor, was Adam Cole versus Marty Scurll. What a match. It was a good match. A lot of ups and downs. It kind of started out a little slow.
Started really slow.
They were just filling each other out. But when it picked up, it picked up. I mean, if you know anything about Adam Cole, it was a great match. Cole is simply awesome in the ring. Plays a great heel, and so does Marty Scurll.
But it seems like in this match, it wasn't Cole who was playing the heel in this match. It was more Scurll being, his character, the villain, and Adam Cole being the face, which played out just fine in the match.
It did. My favorite part, though, Adam Cole goes out of the ring, picks up the ROH title. Scurll gets his signature umbrella afterwards while the ref is handing the title back. Scurll hits Cole with the umbrella, and the umbrella just explodes. What blew me away more than that was Cole kicked out. Like that just, you don't see that. You see it more now than you used to, but you don't see that as often. Scurll ended up getting him with a chicken wing, which is his signature maneuver, his finishing move. I can't say enough good things about those two working in the ring.
Which I don't see any problems with Scurll keeping the title, just because Scurll right now is the next hot thing with ROH, and so with him beating Adam Cole, that brings credibility to his name and to his title that he has.
Even though it was, use of a weapon, which I'm not a big fan of in a title match, but that's kind of his character, so I was cool with it.
Well, granted that it was Adam Cole who brought in the title belt in the first place, and then Scurll was just bringing in his umbrella as, defense, and the ref was like, "No, put that down."
Yeah, he did tell Cole to put it down. It's while he had his back turned that Cole got his bell rung. So next match was Beer City Bruiser and Silas Young.
Before we get to that match, another thing that I like to mention about the Adam Cole Scurll match is that whenever Scurll goes and breaks fingers, and it's like it sounds so real, but we do not know how he is making those loud cracking noises, and it's just that's a pretty freaky part of his character.
It freaks me out every time he does it. So on to the second match, though. Silas Young and Beer City Bruiser versus the Kingdom. Silas Young and Beer City Bruiser won.
Horrible match.
It was kind of not really anything I can say other than I literally have wrote down meh.
That's all you can say about it, because it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a good match. It was.
Yeah, it was just kind of there. But next one, Briscoes and Bully Ray versus the Bullet Club. I loved the storyline being built up to this. People are going to say, well, what storyline? It was a built-in storyline that had Bully Ray against two of the guys he mentored. Haku's sons are part of the Bullet Club, and they took on, like I said, the Briscoes and Bully Ray took on Hangman Page and Haku's sons. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you their names. They're really good in the ring, and they play really well off each other.
What's their tag name? It's the Gorillas of Destiny, Destruction,
something like that. But anyways, that was a really fast paced match. Like I said, I have down. Like I said, the Haku sons were trained by Bully Ray and Devon. I love the part of the match where Bully Ray's getting in for the first time against Haku's sons, and he said, "We're going to do this the way that me and Devon taught you, the way your dad taught you. We're going to do this the honorable way. You're going to shake my hand, and then we're going to go at it."
The Gorillas of Destiny.
Yeah, them. They shook Bully Ray's hand and proceeded to tear into him.
Tonga and Loa.
Tonga and Loa. Anyways, it was fast paced, really good. I love the what's up with the Briscoes. One of the Briscoes and Bully Ray grabbing a leg, and then the other, I believe, Mark jumping off.
Yeah, Mark jumped off
and doing the what's up, followed by a Super 3D, which is basically where the Briscoes lift up the opponent and Bully Ray comes in and hits him with the finishing. Like I said, fast paced, great match. Just I don't know too much of anything else I can say there.
No, it was a good match, and Bullet Club played their characters just good. How you expect Bullet Club to play their characters, and with Bully bringing in some of the 3D from the Dudley Boys days to now with the Briscoes, it brings that nostalgia to the ROH fans, but brings a new twist and flair to the 3D.
Yeah, definitely. I love the Briscoes. I love their characters. I love how aggressive they are in the ring. I love watching them go at it.
I don't mind their characters. It's just like it at first, when you first start watching ROH, like I recently just now got put back into ROH because we were starting this podcast. The characters we wanted to do more than WWE. It's kind of confusing for me. And so if you read our description, we're going to we want to know what they're trying to do. ROH. They're trying to act gangster, like Impact Wrestling,
Country
WWE,
NXT
205, and maybe
until
New Japan. If we
Twink
get
over here
around
explained
to
to me, like,
but
they were
country boys who like to fight.
Digress
back to the main point.
They could do that without
that trying to act all gangster about it. But then it's the characters, the gimmick, and so we'll let them roll with that.
Like I said, I enjoy their gimmick. They just love to fight and beat everybody else up. They think they've gotten into it a few times, and that's pretty interesting to watch too.
And their in-ring work is actually really fun to watch. They start out slow, or they start out fast. They slow down. If they start out fast, they speed up. If they start out slow, and then it just escalates from where they started to where they end, and it's a really fun match to watch because you want these boys to win, and you're behind there, you're in their corner, and then you are upset when they lose.
Yeah, definitely. So next on the card, I should say, Jay Lethal versus Cody Rhodes. It was a Texas Bull Rope match, which is the Rhodes family match, I should say.
Quote unquote.
Dusty was in several. Dustin was in several. And now Cody's been in his. I believe this is his first one because WWE doesn't do them. They did it where they both had the rope on their wrist. They had the cowbell in the middle. But when I think of Texas Bull Rope match, I think of the Four Corners Texas Bull Rope where you have to touch the turnbuckles. Touch the top turnbuckle on each corner.
Consecutively.
Right. Without stopping. If you stop, you have to start over again. They did it with a pinfall submission, which in this match I didn't mind. These two guys did phenomenal work. Cody got hit early on with the bell and busted himself open. I enjoyed that. One of the few matches I've seen where somebody actually blades. Camera cut away and you knew he was blading.
He was juicing. With that match, I can see what angle they were going for with Cody being on the receiving end of everything that Dusty did in his match against superstar Billy Graham. And so it makes sense with the character. At first, I thought it was kind of weird, but then I went and rewatched that match, and it's like, then his gimmick though, for the American Nightmare is pretty much the opposite of what Dream did. And so it made more sense.
Yeah, I think the spot of that match, though, I believe Lethal was on the top rope. Cody gets up, throws him with the rope off the top rope through a table off to the side.
There wasn't enough rope, and so Cody almost went over the top rope too.
Yeah, and then Cody tried to pull a Dusty and took his boot off and tried to hit.
Well, he did hit Lethal.
He hit Lethal with it.
In the face with the boot, then threw his boot away. Then he tried to do another disaster kick with his non-booted foot on a rope. He slipped, and we think he potentially hurt himself, but then he came out later in the show.
Which we'll get into more later. I really want to get into that a little later when we touch on the match.
It was like, if he didn't take off that boot, how would the match would have ended? Would the disaster kick been, or would the reversal of the disaster kick been more flowing than what it was with him just slipping on the rope?
And the lethal injection with the rope, I really enjoyed that. The backhand spring into the ropes, into the lethal injection.
Just the coordination for that, not to trip over the rope.
Exactly. Lethal won, and afterwards we got a really cool moment where he took the cowbell and the bull rope with him as his memento.
Well,
because he won.
That's kind of like a rule for the Texas bull rope matches, is that the winner takes the rope and the bell until he then goes up against in another match. Right.
But still, I love the fact that they're holding true to that.
It's kind of like a championship if you want to take it like that.
Right. I just like that they're holding true to it because other promotions probably wouldn't.
True.
So, next on the card was Motor City Machine Guns versus the Rebellion versus Cheeseburger and Ferreira.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger and Ferreira, I'm not a fan.
No.
I was so glad that they pretty much got their butts kicked the entire match.
Yep. They had a little flurry, and I kind of not paid attention at that point because I'm not a huge fan of Cheeseburger. Stupid ring name.
Right.
But, I mean, if you want to get noticed, that's how you get noticed, but it's not going to carry you in the long run.
The Guns won, which I'm very excited for. I love the Motor City Machine Guns. I've followed them forever. Love their in-ring work and think that believe that was a number one contenders match, and so they've got a shot at the Young Bucks now, which will be a really good match.
We will get into depth in that match when we get to it.
Right. The end of that match, Cheeseburger was getting berated by Ferreira, and
turned.
And Punishment Martinez came out.
That's right.
Which that rolls right into our next match, which is Kaz versus Punishment Martinez.
What? I thought it was... Who was it?
Martinez.
Oh.
Frankie Kazarian.
Oh, yeah.
No, we both looked at each other. 6'7" should not move like that. Punishment Martinez is 6'7".
If you don't know what Punishment looks like, he looks like a steroided up Nakamura.
Yes, exactly. Nakamura, if he was 6'8", 6'7", and weighed 270. He can move. 6'7" should not fly like that. It just shouldn't.
My initial thought of the match, before I even watched the match, was I wasn't thrilled about it. And then the match went on, and with Kazarian being the ring general that he is, really helped sell that match.
That slingshot cutter. Mm-hmm. That slingshot cutter was amazing. I did not like the ending. I understand where they're going with it. It was just ruined. The ending was ruined to me by Hangman Page of the Bullet Club. But I understand where they're going with it.
It was kind of like a revenge thing for when Kazarian turned on the Bullet Club for Daniels to win the ROH title.
Right, and he's got a debt to pay, so to speak, to the Bullet Club, and they're going to go for it. So I think that the way they set it up was really good. The storyline was progressed, even though he wasn't in a match with the Bullet Club.
Right.
So, like I said, I didn't have as big a problem. The next one was a bit of a surprise. Bobby Fish came out, and Silas Young came out to confront him. It wasn't really a match. It was more of just a brawl.
Yeah.
Fish speared Silas Young through the ropes, which was pretty cool. Then he speared him again.